Hey everybody, welcome back to another video tutorial. My name is Fotini. You're visiting me, my video blog, Fotini Stamp and Spot. Today we're going to do something totally different. I saw this video earlier, kind of by accident through like a Pinterest link or something, and it took me to Julie Scapara, her YouTube video, julie@scapara.com. She had already done the dimensions and everything for this really cute idea, and I've just played around and putting it together. It's super easy. So you want to hear what it is? How about decorating the tissue boxes? Now I just used some old DSP paper that I had, and I was just playing around with colors and things, and it's actually it actually comes off. Oops, I dropped my flower. So the box is up right underneath, and this is freestanding. And I just thought, what a great idea for changing up these boring tissue boxes to make it something festive. I actually have this tissue box in my craft room in my desk, so this will be cool. And it's super easy. So I'm going to make a Halloween one using the Designer Series paper, which I can't remember right now what it's called. It's called Spooky Night. So we have some things here. It's really easy to put together. I recommend you guys do all your cutting first, and you'll see how fast. So here are the dimensions. You need, I actually started out with 3 pieces of cardstock, regular cardstock, 8.5 by 11, and then I was cutting down as I needed. So the largest piece, which is going to be for the lid, is at 11 by 7, and it's scored 1 inch all the way around. I made a boo-boo here. It's 1 inch all the way around. Okay. And then you're going to cut a DSP to layer on top of here, okay, at 8 3/4 by 4 3/4, 8 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so that's going to sit there. Going back to this is pumpkin pie cardstock. Going back to pumpkin pie, you're going to cut 2 pieces. Hopefully you guys can see that. 2 pieces of cardstock that are 9.5 by 3.5, 9.5 by 3.5. You need 2 of them. And on one side, you're going to score it all the way over 1/2 inch on one side. The other 2 pieces that you're going to need from that same cardstock are 5.25 by 3.5, same thing, scored only on one side at 1/2. And these will be the sides, the surround of our box. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of get this burnished here. Guys, this is so cute. Like, I mean, why didn't we think of this before? I mean, me anyway, I don't know. I'm just thinking I can do something sweet for like teacher appreciation, and you can give it to them and they can have it. Teachers always have tissues in their rooms, you know, or just for holidays, changing up your tissue boxes. I mean, what a cute idea. So, okay, so we did those, we burnished them. We're gonna burnish this after we do the opening. So here's how we do that. So I take my DSP paper and we're gonna kind of put it on where we think we want it to be. And I just use something that doesn't rip or tear your paper. I just use a little bit of these little flags. You could use washi tape. I just want to put it so that it can hold my paper in place, because I want to line up the center of where the opening for the tissues is going to be. Okay, so I guess it would help if I had some graph paper out, right? So let's look. So this is bringing my paper. Here's the 11th side. So we know 5.5 is the center of where we want it to be. So we also know that this piece is cut at 4 3/4. So 2 1/4 is kind of where we want to be. So we want to be somewhere in the middle. So you are going to need something to make holes. So I'm using these 2 label framelits. I'm going to use the bigger one on the DSP and layer in the smaller one on the cardstock. Now you might think that makes no sense, but you'll understand once we get this going. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this to have it be in the center. And this is why I'm doing all this before I run it through the Big Shot. it'll just be easier for us to see where everything sits. So I'm just using these stickies again, just to kind of keep it in place. And then this smaller one will snuggle, you see there, right inside. So the first thing we're going to run is the DSP paper. Okay, just take it off and just bring the Big Shot forward. All ready to go. I have my plate on there. And we just run it really quick through. This will then allow us to snuggle in okay, so once we cut that out, see, we have our, don't throw this out, this is a great tag, you can use it for something else. So this is now going to allow us to snuggle in, so here we go again, let's align it up. Use the score lines as your guide. Okay, now I can take out, I'm going to not run through the DSP again, but now I'm going to take the smaller framelit and snuggle that right inside, and I'm actually going to hold that down as well. I'm going to then take off the DSP paper because I don't want to run that through again. Okay, and because this is a little wide, it's not going to fit through the Big Shot, I just end up folding over a side. Let's run it through again. Okay, where's my plate? We're just going to run this super quick. So really it's just the measurements and then assembling the box, and of course then your embellishments. Just be careful here. I wasn't careful. I didn't center it properly and I kind of messed up my edge there. All right. So really that's like the hardest part, because you want to make sure that that's centered. Everything else is going to come together super easy and you're going to be like, what? Can't believe it. So again, don't throw away your tag. This can be a fun tag that you can use or something, right? So don't throw that away. All right. So we are done with our framelits. Let's burnish. See, I messed that up. Don't do what I did. Be cautious about that. I'm just going to burnish it out with my bone folder. Because I just wasn't careful, but keep in mind when you run it through not to be off-centered because it will mess up the side. Now we're going to hide some of that, but with DSP. Okay, so here's our box. And here is our Designer Series paper, and we're just going to stick down our Designer Series paper. And I would recommend, because I tried it at first with snail, and it was just a little weird trying to like maneuver it because it is a big piece. So I then decided to go to my Tombow liquid glue just to be able to adjust it if I needed to. Okay, so we're going to take this now and replace it back, centering it over that opening. And because I'm using that liquid glue, I have a little bit more time to adjust. Much easier than the first time around. Okay, so while we have this open, we also have a couple other pieces of DSP. So the flip side of this hat, Witch Hat DSP, is this Designer Series paper. Now you can choose to keep the Designer Series paper however you want, flip it or don't flip it. So we need 2 pieces cut on either side for our lid. Those are cut at, let me tell you, those are cut at 3/4 inch tall with 8 3/4 wide, and these 2 pieces are 4 3/4 by 3/4. Okay, but I think I might want to use the flip side of, you know, we can leave it like that. We won't use the flip side. We'll let the witch's hat come down. So when we make our box, it'll sit right there. Okay, well, you can do what you want. You can make two sides have the one design paper. However, you know, I would just be aware that your paper, if it has a pattern that has to kind of all match, just be aware which direction you're gluing it down so you don't have a mishmash. You know, if it's going left and you put it up and down, one of those things. Okay, again, I think the liquid glue is the easiest. It's the most forgiving. It's easy to adjust. I'm telling you, these are, I gotta try one for those other boxes that are smaller, because I have a bunch of those as well. So I can't wait to sit and figure out the dimensions for that. So this box, the only next thing that we're going to do after we adhere these down, the lid anyway, is we're going to cut the tabs, and then we'll just put the rest of our box surround together. There really isn't any complicated thing going on here. The hardest was the center, making sure that it gets centered. Okay, so now you have your box. I'm just going to cut from here to the score line where the square is, and then I'm going to miter a little bit, and I actually like to do the other side. It gives a cleaner look. Same thing here, straight up to that score line, miter the other side. It just allows it that when you fold the box, that it's a nice and clean fold. You could have used tear and tape. That definitely would work too. Okay, so let me flip this upside down and just push down. I'm going to show you a little tip that I use when I make these boxes. I just find it helpful. I see a lot of videos, everybody kind of holding on to the edges with the Tombow, waiting for it to adhere and dry and all that. So I found it easier to use these little clips that we have. Stampin' Up! Had sold them, but I also have some from a Paper Pumpkin set. So I'll show you how I use it. So now we have it upside down. We're going to flip this over. We're going to put glue on all the corners. Again, you can use tear and tape if you want to. I'm just going to use the Tombow glue because I think it allows you a little bit more wiggle room trying to adhere it down. And I also use the table as my friend to help with the corner. So let's start closest to me here, okay? I'm going to lift up, and have it meet. Grab a little clip, hold it together, lift up, have it meet, hold it together. And because Tombow does dry fairly quickly, I can move on and keep assembling without having to hold on to my box. And then as I move on to the next, see, wasn't that easy? And then as I move on to my next component, this can still dry, okay? So our next part, which is the surround of the box, we have these flaps for the side of our box, and we have scored at 1/2 inch on the two, and then we have the smaller ones for the narrower part of the box. Again, same thing, scored 1/2 inch. So what we want to do is we're going to apply, we'll start with the smaller ones. It doesn't matter which way you start, but it does matter the order. So we're going to do shorter one, longer one, shorter one, longer one, okay? So we're going to take the edge, flipping it down, your score mark, flipping it down so it's standing like this. And we're going to take the flat side, the non-scored side, and we're going to be adhering it to the top, okay? And then you just go all the way around until your box is complete. Try not to get glue everywhere. So we're just going to line it up. You can use your grid paper to help you kind of keep it on straight, and then you just move it over, put more glue on this one, and because now we're gluing on the long piece, we're going to attach the smaller piece. Push that down, slide it over. adhere one more. So the only other thing besides making this part is putting our designer series paper on these panels to give it some nice decoration. And then of course, however you want to embellish the top or around. I mean, if you have the kitty banner punch, I forget what it's called, it matches with, let me see, the designer series paper. You can punch this out, or you can do what I'm going to do, which is I'm going to do it freehand and cut it out. That would be great. You can get the designer series punch with, I believe it's a stamp set. There's a bundle price if you get them together, and you can save 10%. I didn't get that one on my last order. Had a lot on that order, so I had to kind of pace myself. So here we go. We just close this now, and we now have a box or a rectangle. Okay, so we're laying it flat. We probably could have also, as we were going across, we could have done our DSP paper too, but I just wanted to show you how to layer on top after your box is done. You could have done it either way. We're just going to put this on afterwards, no big deal. You could have gone it as we were putting the box together. So I'm just doing the same thing here, assembling the glue and doing it like in an assembly line. This DSP doesn't matter which direction it goes because it's just spots, but keep in mind if you do want to use the cats that you put them the right way. I'm going to actually cut out a cat, so I'm going to have these guys hidden behind. Oops. Making a mess with glue. I think I'm almost out. I have to get some more. Okay. And because it adheres really quickly, because then everything's going to stick to this. Flip it over and do the same thing. Like, how cute, right? I just think it's such a cute idea. What a great design to do this. I mean, obviously you can do it with any designer series paper that we have for any season. We have Thanksgiving coming soon. Christmas is around the corner. You could decorate it for Valentine's Day. And you can change up the decor of your home really easily. Okay, there you go. So now we have the rectangle all DSP'd. So you can press down to make sure that all that glue is all sticking and the sides are burnished. Okay, and guys, we're almost done. There's only one more step. We got to put our lid on. So I'm taking off my clips and I'm going to put glue, particularly in the corners here. I'm not sure you can see in these corners, but I'm going to put glue all along the rim of the box. I'm not putting on the top because actually I want to take it off. So I'm only putting it on the side so that it sticks to the top of this box. So just enough to kind of make it stick. And then once we put it on, I'm going to use my bone folder just to kind of push down. Okay, and here we go. It should fit perfectly with these measurements. Flip it upside down and now use the table as a guide, and with one hand on the inside, just push against so that you kind of get it started there, and then flip it on its side. Using my point, I'm going inside and just making sure those corners have a lot of contact with that glue. Okay, and just flip it around. Oh my God, so cute, guys, right? Isn't that super cute? You could have done whatever you wanted with the DSP. So we got that. That's our box. And we do have a new stamp set that came out in the holiday called Labels to Love. And it has a bunch of different sentiments for different holidays. So I'm going to use Have a Trick or Treat, Have a Haunting Happy Halloween, Have a Haunting Halloween, Something Wicked This Way comes on the 31st. So I'm just going to use I'm going to use this stamp with some basic black. See, I haven't even used it yet. Can't wait. Grab my block. Where is my block? I bet you it's right in front of me. Here's my basic black. And if you get the label punch that coordinates with this one, it punches out the shape of this, and you can get this as a bundle if you purchase them together. But there are also several other stamp sets that utilize this punch, which is really, really great. So we're going to use that, and I'm going to see if I have some scrap. Do I have enough scrap? These are too small. How about we just use this scrap? That should be okay. So we're going to take our Happy Halloween, and because I haven't used it, it does have a backing on it. And I'm going to open up my blocks. Oh, here's my block. Okay. And we're going to ink it up in black, and we're going to just stamp it on the pumpkin pie. You could use Very Vanilla. Maybe, I don't, yeah. You know what? I have some Very Vanilla. Perfect piece of scrap. Use your scraps. Might as well. I think what we'll do is we'll stamp it in. We'll stamp it with basic black, and then after we punch it out, I'll go around and daub a little pumpkin pie around it. Isn't that neat? Look how cute that looks. So pop this open by pushing the tab up, line it up. You can push it halfway just to kind of clamp to make sure you have all your lines aligned properly. And then all you have to do is push it further, and you got that. Ready to roll. Ready to roll. That's how easy that is. So this is done. So I wanted to add a little bit more color. I'm going to take my pumpkin pie, and I have a little dauber, and I'm just going to go around the edge just a little and just add some of that color back. These are so fun. These are the first day I'm using these. I've had them for a little while, and I was doing a different project earlier with the daisies and coloring them in, and this, they're so cute. So I love this. Okay, that's it. So now we have our box, and we're just going to stick this right here using some dimensionals, and I'll use some of my spare edges. Okay, and this is almost done. The only thing I wanted to add on top of this was a cutout of the kitty cat. I wish I bought the punch. I might have to place another order just to get her. So we have that, and really quick, let's see, I'm gonna cut out an orange cat. Why not? Let's cut her out real quick. When you're cutting, it helps to just move the paper instead of moving the scissors, so they tell me. I guess that's true. This would look much nicer, of course, if I had gotten the punch, because it's designed for that, but that's okay. There is some therapy in paper cutting. Okay, cut off that extra. Almost there. All right, guys. Well, I know it's not October yet to get into the holiday spirit for Halloween, but it's never too early to get started and to think about what's coming up. Actually, there is a special going on for October and November Paper Pumpkin. If you are not yet subscribed to that, which is a monthly subscription, you're gonna want to be, because there's some great kits coming for those 2 months that will get your planning for the holiday season in high gear, and you don't want to miss out on that. So if you'd like to subscribe to the Paper Pumpkin, I will have the link below in the descriptions, and you'll be able to do so. It's a great kit that comes monthly with everything you need to do a project for that month, and I love it. It's a little bit of zen. You could take it with you because everything is included that you need, and like I said, I'll add that link below. So okay, let's see how this looks. Ready? So I'm going to take this tissue box out because we've already did this design. So here's the tissue box. You just line it up, and voila. Isn't that cute? I think that's like super cute. Super cute. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. This video took a little longer than I thought, but it really is fun to create this. I'm really impressed with how nice it was. Thanks to Julie for doing all the dimensions for the papers. It made everything go a lot faster, and I was able to have fun creating. Thanks again. Please click subscribe if you like the video, and that way you'll know when my next video gets posted. And I'd love to hear your comments, so please comment in the video below. Shop anytime on my shopping page, and that link will be below, and all the supplies that were used for today's video will also be below in the descriptions. Thanks so much, and if you liked, please give me a thumbs up. Looking forward to it. See you on the next video.